It is your boy, Black Ronin, but back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out here today there, y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. But guys, know it's been a few days, a little minute, but I'm back on at it again, back in the flow. But guys, I just been going through it a little bit mentally, but hey, your boy is back. We're stronger than ever, and just a part of life. We got to keep on pushing. But guys, I got a special video right now for all of us young Americans out here. Let's get on into it. So, top 3 best countries for young Americans to move to, in my opinion. Now, why did I want to make this video? Because guys, as we look around here in America, it's safe to say majority of us young Americans here, there is no future for us. And most of us probably don't even want to have no family or raise children in the American economy, especially at the state it's at right now, and the division and just so many factors that are stacked against us right now. And even if you come from money, man, if you like your parents had you make sure like you had inherited a certain amount of money or whatever the case may be, you're set financially, I would still can easily consider dipping out of this country, because this place is finna collapse, guys, like crazy. And yes, the US dollar is dwindling like more and more, but it's very, very powerful in a lot of these countries. But let's get on into it, guys. Coming in at number 3 of the top 3 best countries for us young Americans to move to, I gotta give it to South Africa. Guys, a lot of African countries in general is not a bad option, guys. Forget everything that you thought you knew about Africa. Guys, South Africa is really where it's at. Like, I would basically consider South Africa as like a budget-friendly America. If you're coming with that US dollar, hey man, like you're basically gonna get practically a similar, I'm not gonna say it's gonna feel 100% like America, but it's probably, out of all these countries, it's gonna feel the closest to it if you still want that similar type of American lifestyle, but you can actually afford it. And they got practically a lot of the attractions. Like, guys, everything you can do in America, you can do in South Africa. Like, South Africa is practically first world, but on a budget. And like, guys, you can live pretty cheap, or you can live very like expensive lifestyle. Guys, they literally got an Iron Man replica house out there, a mansion that you can go stay in, like a like an Airbnb. Quite expensive, but South Africa, like I said, if you want to live cheap, you can live cheap. If you want to go out there and be a baller, you can be a baller. They got deep pockets out there in South Africa. And why did I put South Africa on this list? Because like I was saying earlier, if you still want that feel and some of the things that you think you might miss, such as Comic-Con, guys, they got Comic-Con out there in South Africa, So like, they got certain amenities and just a lot of things that we're used to here in America. They got that in South Africa, but better quality, honestly, when you're talking about food and, culturally, they got a lot more, and basically with South Africa, like, it's, especially if you're a person of color like myself, this is a very, very solid option for you. Even if you're a white guy, South Africa is still not a bad option. But I will say, if you're a white guy, just be aware, especially, American. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still blend in to South Africa because there are white people that are native there. They call them the Afrikaans, if I pronounce that right. But, they're basically the Dutch. Yeah, so, yeah, they got their own way of speaking and everything. So, yeah, they're out there too. But still, if you're a white guy, you may need to be a little cautious, especially where you live, and understand, and even if you're black too, guys, like, if you're a person of color, still be cautious of where you live at, because South Africa, I had to put it at number 3 because safety wise is not the most safe, but there are safe areas of South Africa. It just depends on where you go. I would definitely try to connect with people out there, talk to people and be like, hey, is this a good area, before you go there and move there. But it just depends on where you're at. But South Africa is not a bad choice. And then what I love about South Africa, which is a great choice, probably the best choice long term in my personal opinion, is because as a foreigner, you got the right to buy property. You can buy property, buy land. Before there used to be no restrictions, but now it's been updated, so there is a few restrictions, but nothing crazy compared to a lot of other countries out there. You know, the things you can do in a lot of African countries is like, I mean, it really knocks a lot of other countries out the water. It really does. Like, let's say if you want to have multiple wives, you can do that in South Africa. You know, now most men, they're probably not going to do that. You know, one awesome wife is good enough, but hey, you never know. Hey, men, listen, I know how we are. I know how our testosterone is. So, hey, you got that option legally. You can do it out there. And on top of that, you can come to South Africa. Yeah, like if you're an American, up to 90 days, visa free, business or tourism. It's pretty dang on awesome. You know, so South Africa is not a bad place at all. And on top of that, when it comes down to food and culture, you know, you got Zulu, you know, you got the Afrikaans, you know, like you got so many different tribes out there, and they speak a lot of different languages too. But, you know, you can get away with English. You know, English is very widespread throughout South Africa. So, you know, they got a bunch of different national languages out there in South Africa, but you can still get by with English, no problem. But at the same time, you know, you do want to learn some of the languages, but there is a boatload. So you never know like what type of languages you're going to hear. You might hear Zulu 1 minute, Afrikaans 1 minute, Eshuo, I forget how to pronounce that. I know South Africans, forgive me. I know I've been butchered before when I badly pronounced that, but I literally forgot the name of that language at the top of my head. But I'll try to throw it up here on the screen if I got some time. But yeah, you know, so they got a bunch of different languages, and then when it comes down to the food, you know, Zulu, they gonna cook their way, and then on top of that, very diverse in terms of people. So they have, like, you see in America, like it's very different compared to South Africa, because they got it like this, you know, white people that are Afrikaans, you know, they're in their own class. And then when it comes down to the Africans, so you got the Zulus and all their different tribes. So you got a bunch of different African tribes. And then you got the mixed people, you know, so they call them the coloreds, but it's not derogatory like here in America, you know, like it's basically just a class of people that's, you know, mixed, you know, and they got their own culture. So, you know, they, like, let's say we got a Zulu tribe member and an Afrikaans member, you know, they mix together. And yeah, so their traditions and everything, it's deeply rooted together. And their food and everything, they got their own style. It's a mixture, a blend, you know, so like it's pretty cool how they got it set up like that, you know. But yeah, like it's not what you think like here in America, you know. But yeah, you know, like it's a solid place, man. The food, everything is healthy. And man, you know, like I said, you can live like a baller, or you can live very cheap, very modest. You can live however you want out there. But like I said, going back to safety, just be aware South Africa ain't the most safest, which really the biggest reason why I had to put it at number 3, just because of safety. And for a lot of you guys, I know y'all probably don't want to go somewhere that feels very similar to America, but it's really not a bad option if you don't want to lose a lot of amenities that you're used to here in America. So South Africa easily gets the number 3 spot. Now, coming in at number 2, it's very, very hard not to put this one on the list. And it's a expat haven. So travelers, everybody, you know, this is a hot spot, including myself. I'm thinking most likely move here. But before I get into number 2, guys, real quick, you know, so it's a lot of people out here traveling, us young people. And if you guys need any help in terms of getting your passport and you're lost in terms of the forms and everything you need to fill out, hey, here's my email here. I'll walk you through it and show you guys exactly how to get your passport and get it going, get it processing, so you don't make any mistakes. There's a lot of little things that I think a lot of people can easily miss. And hey, hit me up through email. It's just $20, and I'll go basically, I will get on a phone call and I'll be on the phone with you. I'll email you everything that you need to start getting your process and getting the application, for the passport. So that way, like you won't have any issues. So if you need help getting a passport, I can help you out and guide you with no problem. It's going to be a walk in the park for you. So just wanted to throw that out there because I know it's going to be a lot of us young people more and more getting out the States because it is chaos here. So if you need help, I'm your dude, your boy Black Ronin. Hit me up and we'll go on from there. Like I said, $20, be cash out ready. But anyway, back to the video. So coming in at number 2, guys, you can't beat it, but it is Thailand. Guys, Thailand is easily get the number 2 spots, and it's for a lot of reasons. So Thailand is very, very affordable, guys. Like you can get a decent apartment for like at least I would say something decent, like at least $100 and something dollars, just over $100. You can get a decent apartment. Now be aware, when you are, I do want to mention this, when you are leaving the country and going to a lot of these other, lower income countries, be aware, you are a foreigner, so you got that powerful US dollar. You are going to get upcharged unless, some locals who can hook you up and be like, hey, man, I'm trying to pay this price. Can you negotiate, like help me negotiate with this person? Have somebody there that can help you. So just be aware of those things. But, you can get a decent apartment for like $100 and some dollars, no problem. It may be on the outskirts, but still, like, transportation getting around through Thailand is really not that bad. But if you're in Bangkok, I would say, yeah, close to 200, but you're not going to spend much money at all in terms of apartments in Thailand. So that's the first thing, the housing. Then we got the nightlife. Guys, the nightlife in Thailand is crazy. I mean, wow, you can go to so many different places. Like it's really wild at how much stuff to do in Thailand. You can literally live super simple and stay away from the nightlife and just live a peaceful life, or you can really wild out and have a good time. But I will say be careful, because just because Thailand is cheap doesn't mean that you can just wild out 24/7. And yes, things are cheaper. You're definitely going to be able to have more fun than you can in the US by a long shot. But just be aware, guys, you don't want to have too much fun to the point where it's like, oh, wow, I'm actually spending way more money than I thought I was going to spend, So, but if you can control yourself with a lot of stuff, I know a lot of us men, hey, listen, you're going to get a lot of attention from a lot of women over there, like be aware, like, you're going to walk through certain places, and especially if you're a guy like me. I mean, come on, like you're not, in general, you're not seeing too many people looking like me with my type of phenotype, the way I talk, and just my overall look, my appeal. You don't see too many people that look like me on the regular. Yes, in the melting pot, like where I'm from, Tampa, Florida, there is other light-skinned people like me in other major cities, but in general, we're not widespread like that. Like so you're gonna be pretty unique walking out there. And if you're a white guy, well kept and everything, looking decent, like fit, I mean, bro, like you're gonna pull a lot of different women. So be aware, have some what's the word, retention, self-control out there, because listen, as strong as a lot of us men are, we're gonna have our moments. There are sometimes, listen, you just gonna knock it down. Like that's in a man's nature at the end of the day, so control yourself. So you're gonna meet a lot of new people. And with that said, like I said, you're gonna meet, after meeting all those bunch of different people, you're gonna spend some money. So just keep that in mind though. But you can live a peaceful lifestyle or expensive lifestyle. It just depends on your approach and basically how you want to live. But everybody's spending is going to be very different. Me, I'm pretty good at cooking. And then on top of that, I cook with a lot of tofu on the regular, at home. So I already am used to just eating, very simply, versus a lot of people, they probably can't eat the way I can eat. Like it don't take much to really get me full and get all my nutrition that I need. Like I'm just very smart with it. I know how to cook in a way where I get everything I need and I'm able to function good. Plus I practice intermittent fasting. So I do the fasting and all that stuff. So a lot of people ain't on that level, but if you are, you can definitely save a lot of money being out there in Thailand. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, so the nightlife is crazy. It's very affordable and it's just peaceful, man. And yeah, you really can't beat Thailand in a lot of areas. And in terms of the visa, you know, you can get up in there visa free, but you do have to do a, let me see if I can find it. You know, you got to sign off on this one thing online. Where's that screenshot? I'm gonna throw it up here on the screen. Here we go. So you have to make sure you complete your Thailand digital arrival card before, you know, you actually arrive to Thailand. So be aware of that. But yeah, you know, you'll get 60 days, you know, visa free, you know, so yeah, no problem. So I mean, you're gonna be pretty dang on good out there. So Thailand easily gets the number 2 spot. I mean, it's beautiful, culture is rich, and you can live all different types of lifestyles over there. So number 2 goes to Thailand. And coming in at number 1, I gotta give it to Vietnam. Now, why do I say Vietnam gets the number 1 spot for us young people out here trying to leave the country? Vietnam is dirt cheap, guys. I don't think y'all realize how dirt cheap Vietnam is. And now there is a few things you do have to consider if you're going to Vietnam. Yes, they do speak English out there, but for the most part, it's a lot of Vietnamese. So you're going to have to learn that type of language. And also Thai, that's a rough language too to learn. But, you know, but Thailand, you know, going back to over there, like it's so many expats over there and just like they're used to so many foreigners to the point, like, yeah, it's a lot of English like spoken over there. But in Vietnam, not really so much, because Thailand, it's really like the party city and it's affordable. So, you know, but Vietnam is number 1 because it's even more cheaper. Like, guys, you can get your visa. Let me see. I got it up here on the screen. You can get a 90-day visa and multiple like literally multiple entries, much as you want, anywhere from $25 to $50, guys. Like, dirt cheap. Like, and it's very, very simple to do on the website, guys. Just go on there, put in all your information, and boom, there you go. And then on top of that, guys, the apartments. You can get a nice apartment out there for literally, guys, almost $60. Like, that is insane, guys. When I did the conversion and everything, that is wild, guys. Like, your money will stretch so far in Vietnam. But, you know, I would say definitely like really take the time, because I know with Thailand, it's just more of a bigger community there. So that would probably be a safer spot to go with first. But if you really, really want to save some money, and if you can take the time to learn how to speak Vietnamese and try to speak that, I would say Vietnam is number 1, because you really can't beat it. It's super, super affordable. There's not a lot of restrictions over there either. And man, you know, you can really live like a king, man. So if you're making 2,000, bro, you are balling in a place like Vietnam. Even $1,000, man, you're like 1,000 a month, bro. You are doing stupid good out there. So Vietnam gets the number 1 spot. It's a beautiful country. You know, like, you got the beach, you can live into the city, you know, you can live in all different ways out there. But yeah, Vietnam is not a bad option. All different types of attractions, you know. Now, there is one con. I do hear there's a lot of pollution in Vietnam, so be aware of that. But other than that, guys, I mean, you really can't beat Southeast Asia in general in terms of just quality of life and what you're getting. And if you're trying to have children, raise a family, and you're pulling good money, bro, you can do pretty dang on good out there. You know, like, you can put your kids in the best of best stuff and save a lot of money out there. So Vietnam is definitely not a bad option whatsoever. But that's really all I gotta say, guys. Let me know what you guys think. It is your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Y'all take it easy.